Back in June of 2009, on a small internet forum called Something Awful, a user named Eric Knudsen, better known by his screen name Victor Surge, posted two simple black and white photographs. At first glance, they appeared to be ordinary snapshots of children playing, but hidden in the background, partially obscured by trees, was a tall, faceless figure in a dark suit. His limbs stretch longer than they should, his body is so unnatural, and his presence is unsettling. Beneath the photos, nods and added short captions suggesting disappearances, fires, and tragedies, all of which were connected to this mysterious being. That was the birth of Slenderman. Unlike monsters from folklore passed down over the centuries, Slenderman was fully formed on the internet. He didn't come from ancient mythos, but from Photoshop, internet horror culture, and the imagination of thousands of online creators. Almost immediately, the Slenderman spread beyond the original forum post. People began writing stories, creating artworks, and making videos that add depth to this faceless figure. They gave him lore. Slenderman, stalking forests at night, abducted children, and drove people to madness. The story of Slenderman became a collaborative effort, a creature whose identity shifted with every retelling. By the early 2010s, Slenderman had moved from niche forums to the mainstream media. YouTube channels started creating found footage style series about Slenderman. The most notable and famous example was made by Marble Hornets, which portrayed Slenderman as the operator, a shadowy pursuer that hunts people lost in the forest in the deep of the night. The series gave Slenderman a cinematic presence, something that felt real enough to blur the line between the fiction and reality. To those watching late at night in the dark, the faceless man in the trees felt less like a story and more like a presence. But, as with many internet-born stories, Slenderman's story took a darker turn in 2014 when two 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin lured their friend into the woods and stabbed her 19 times. They later told the police that they did it to appease Slenderman, believing he would harm their families if they didn't prove their loyalty. The victim miraculously survived, but the case shocked the world. What had started as an online game of collaborative storytelling had bled into reality with devastating consequences. In the aftermath, Slenderman became a cultural flashpoint. Parents, teachers, and journalists debated whether internet horror could warp impressionable minds. For some, the story cemented Slenderman as a dangerous influence. For others, it was a proof of how stories can be misunderstood and twisted into something unrecognizable. Yet, despite this tragedy, the myth of Slenderman did not disappear. He remains a figure in horror culture, surfacing in memes, games, and even films. His image is faceless, impossibly tall, and always watching silently. It endures because it taps into something primal. Slenderman represents the fear of being watched, the terror of the unknown, the idea that danger hides in the background where we least expect it. Slenderman is not just a monster, he is a mirror of the internet itself, collaborative, ever-changing, capable of spreading across the world in an instant, born from a forum post, raised by countless creators, and marked by tragedy. His story is less about a single being and more about how myths are made in the digital age. In the end, Slenderman doesn't belong to any one person. He belongs to the collective imagination, an urban legend for the 21st century, faceless but unforgettable, standing forever in the shadows of our screens.